Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Tarot by Hilary Live. I am your host, Hilary of tarotbyhilary.com. The web address is right there if you want a reading with me, a personalized reading with me. I am a professional tarot reader, demystifying the mystical and putting you in touch with your own intuition and assuring you that you indeed have intuition as well. I believe everybody has intuition. So, in this episode tonight of Tarot by Hilary Live, we're doing something a little bit different. So, forgive me for being a little bit late to the recording, but I had some stuff to do to prep for this special episode of Tarot by Hilary Live, which is a tarot reading for the collective for the year 2020. So, I used this wonderful tool from the wild unknown. It's called a spirit cloth. And it has, so this is the booklet that goes along with it. I'm going to go ahead and project what the spirit cloth looks like in a second or two, just to show you its purpose, how it works. But basically, it is a cloth with all these pretty designs on it. And those pretty designs are placeholders in which you can then place your cards on in order to have a personalized spread. So it's almost as if instead of just having positions memorized or having a look in a book, instead it's giving you the placeholders on which you can put your tarot cards and do the reading. So now I've done a version of what they call the 13 moons reading. Previously to even having this spirit cloth, and I called it like the clock spread. And to me, it signified timing and when something was going to happen, because one of the hot button topics in tarot is, how do I ask timing questions, or how do I find out timing or figure out timing through the tarot cards? Sometimes you can do it with numerology. What are the numbers of the cards that are coming up predominantly or the majority? And looking at timing that way. But I specifically created a spread to try and figure it out. And so, but it's interesting because sometimes you find out there's nothing new under the sun, just your spin on it. And so I realized that there were a lot of people that did a 12 or 13 card spread in a circle to signify the wheel of the year, or the different seasons, or the 12 months of the year, and which card is coming up for that month. So that is what the 13 moons spread is. It is a month for every single, a card for every single month of the year, basically an advice card for what to look out for that particular month. And then a 13th card to tell you what the theme of the excuse me, the theme of the year is. So that is what I'm doing for you guys tonight. And that is the reason why it's a special workshop. I'm not really teaching you a topic tonight. I am giving you a reading for all of us. So stay tuned, watch live. If you have any questions for me, or any clarifications, or what you are seeing in the cards, that is completely valid as well. And please go ahead and pop that into the comments. I would love to hear them. So before we get started on our big 2020 reading, introduce yourself in the comments. Let me know who you are and where you're tuning in from. I would love to see how many people we got going on here, if we're international or not. I see Katie's in here. Hi, Katie. How are you doing? And I'm sure there's going to be some of our regular attendees dropping in and saying hello. And Katie is from Australia, so woo, Australia. And I'm going to apologize in advance for my clearing of the throat and the coughing and everything, because I still have that tickle in the throat. I can't seem to shake it. And this is from the beginning of the year, so like 2 weeks ago, I got sick. with a cold or a flu. I don't even know what, but I've still got that little like itchy tickle in the throat, frog in the throat. So my apologies. Devon's here. Hi, Devon. Nice to see you again. So glad you showed up. Okay, so I do have all of the cards that I pulled here individually, so I can go through them individually as we do this big ass tarot reading for the collective for 2020. And yeah, Dina's saying can take a full month sometimes regarding getting over being sick. For some reason, it's just in recent years, I've had like the cold from hell. Like literally, when I went to the ENT, like the ears, nose, and throat doctor, I went to him worried about that I had like a sinus infection or a throat infection or ear infection or strep throat or something because my ears were getting clogged up and I just felt so congested in this area. And fortunately, I didn't have any of those things. And it was just what he described as the cold from hell. So it seems like it's a seasonal thing for me now. Like every December/January, I usually end up getting the cold from hell. It's super fun. So, um, Katie's saying, looking forward to hearing what we get in the reading. Drink that drink and get better. Actually, this is kind of a naughty thing that I'm drinking. I'm drinking a Dr. Pepper, which I've been off sugary drinks for like the last year. I did some EFT tapping, and I just drink flavored seltzer water, most of the time, because otherwise soda is empty calories and very sugary and not so great for you. But like I need my fix right now. So this is a Dr. Pepper. Not very healthy, but I need the kick right now. Okay, so let me go ahead and project onto the screen. Actually, let me see if I can fix this a little bit on the fly so that it doesn't show up the wrong way on screen. So bear with me as I crop this down a little bit so that it comes up in the right way. Tools, crop. Apologies for doing this on the fly. It seemed like everyone was making their big exit for the holiday weekend, the 3-day weekend. And so the traffic was a little bit crazy getting home. All right, let me remove that and add the edited version. And hopefully that will come up. Yeah. Okay. So you should be seeing the what I was describing to you, the spirit cloth from the Wild Unknown. The Wild Unknown is, by the way, an amazing it's Kim Kranz, who is the artist. And she has done the Wild Unknown Tarot deck. She has done the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck, which is an oracle deck. And more recently, she has done the Wild Unknown Archetypes deck, which is, to me, it's more, yes, there's 78 cards in that deck, but to me, it's more of an oracle archetype deck than a tarot deck. So wonderful stuff from the Wild Unknown. Jamie's here. Hi, Jamie. So this is from the Wild Unknown. This is a spirit cloth from the Wild Unknown, and see all of these different symbols. So I'm going to actually take down my video screen because you don't need to hear me. Hold on. Let me see if I can full screen this. Yeah. No. All right. I'm going to Thank you, Dina, for letting me know that there was no sound. Can you hear me? You can hear me and see me now, though, right? All right. Let me see if I can. Yep. Okay. All right. Now, can you hear me? And can you see the spirit cloth? Awesome. Great. Thank you guys for rolling with me. Technology is a fun thing. And yeah, interestingly enough, for some reason yesterday and the day before, I was having all of these tech issues. And we are not in a Mercury retrograde yet. So I don't know what the heck was going on. It was just a little bit crazy. So yeah, let me put up, because we were talking about the 13 moons reading for the collective for tonight. See all of these different symbols on the spirit cloth. It's pretty cool. Honestly, before I even knew what the purpose of the spirit cloth was, I was just more attracted to the awesome woo new age symbols that were on it because it just looked freaking cool, right? But all of these different symbols are a different spread. So that's really cool, right? So, like, for example, the hands, and you're probably going to hear me shuffling my paper over here. So there's a key. So the booklet that I showed you guys before, or held up before, it gives you a key guide to the different symbols on the cloth. And then it shows you which spread that is associated with. So like in the middle, you see 3 gems, and that is a reading. So it's a 3-card reading. And then the 13 moons, which is the one that we're going to be doing tonight, is the moons that are on the outer circle. And it has like the different moon phases going through it. So like if you're familiar with astrology, the full moon, the waxing moon, the waning moon, like I'm sure you can translate that into a customized tarot spread of your own if you're so inclined. Yeah, Dina's saying this is awesome. I know, like this is the reason why I'm doing this for you guys, because I want to, not only do I want to be able to gift this reading to you so that you guys can come back and see like, oh, what did Hilary say for the month of March? What card did we get for the month of March for me to like look out for? Not only that, but like I want you guys to be interested in some of these tools that I use. So this is the Wild Unknown Spirit Cloth. So it's almost as if like I'm test driving it for you so you don't have to, but if it's something that interests you, go ahead and go to the wildunknown.com, or I think wildunknown.com. I'll find the URL for you guys, and purchase this if you're so inclined. If this grooves with you, like absolutely give them your business, and they really do deserve it. Kim Kranz is a wonderful artist, and they're putting out some really awesome decks and artistry out there. Anyway, so there's the issue at hand. So the hands, those are 4 hands in the middle, 1, 2, 3, 4. And so they will have different positional meaning. The lightning bolts are what's called the freedom spread. The eyeballs, the eyes, so I think those are on the outer corners, are the secret spread. There's a couple of omens in there, which is the omen. And I think that would be a really great place for you to place like an oracle card or a charm or a talisman to augment whatever reading it is you're doing. And then the pentacles or the stars that are in there is the mystic truths. So I'm trying to locate the star right there, but I'm not seeing it right now, but I'm sure it's on there. So like this is, let me see, how many spreads did I just name there? I think it's like about 7 spreads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 7-ish spreads. So I wanted you to see the cloth so that you know in the context what these different spreads are. But we tonight are focusing on the 13 moons, which are the outer moon phases. So there are 12 for each month. And then that middle moon is also on top of one of the gems. But there is a middle moon right in the center, and that is the theme card, that 13th card, which is the theme of the year. So let me come back on here. Hi again, everybody. So is this not really cool? I think it's really, really cool. So like, here's the guidebook here, showing you that. And here is the key here. And so you can use the key to translate the different positional meanings for these spreads. And then you just lay out your cards on top of this spread. So Jamie's saying, I love well-designed spread cloths. I mean, right? It's amazing. And actually, you can't tell, unfortunately, but it is like a solid cloth as well. It's not too flimsy, it's not too thick, and it's not too thin. It's just the right width for a cloth. So it's like not, it's hefty in all the right ways, shall I say. Like, you don't have to worry. Like, I mean, I'm sure if you were doing a reading outside, you might want to weigh it down with maybe different stones or crystals. But honestly, there are some cloths that are a little bit flimsier where you like really have to do that. This not so much. I feel like just the weight of the cards alone might be able to keep down the cloth. So Dina's saying ingenious. It is. Like, I wish I had thought of this. And, you know, if I was a more creative person, maybe I'd go ahead and design my own. But why design my own when, you know, Kim Kranz was able to do it already for us? So I will let people be creative in their own ways and gladly purchase stuff like this because it's really cool. So, like, for example, here's the 3 gems. I'm going to put this in front. That's the 3 gems. So it does give you the positional meanings. And technically speaking, if you didn't have your spirit cloth, you could do the 3 gems reading because it is just a 3-card reading. 1 would be the gem of creation, beginning, opening, creativity, birth. 2 is the gem of destruction, ending, collapse, and finality. And 3 would be the gem of sustaining, nourishment, continuation, and support. So you could really modify the 3 gems spread into whatever you wanted to do for a 3-card spread, whether it be past, present, future, or not even looking at positional meanings at all and just seeing how the cards play out and interact with each other, what the cards are saying individually. So there you go. Oh, enough talk about this. If you like it, pick it up for yourself. Actually, let me go ahead and like stick around. Don't go anywhere right now. Follow this link only when we're done. Try not to be little magpies, my friends, even though I am also a magpie. But I'm going to go ahead and link to the Wild Unknown website right here, so that when you're ready to, don't do it right now, you can go ahead and peruse their wares and see what's speaking to you. So right now in their shop is the Archetypes deck that I was able to go to the launch party in New York City. That is what's being featured. But there is a tarot box set of the Wild Unknown deck. There's the Animal Spirit box set. There's some beautiful journals and a children's book. So yeah, there's plenty of stuff to look at there. Let me just double check the shop and see if they're still having these spirit cloths. Oh no. They might be out of print for the spirit cloth. So I'm sorry to like dangle this in front of you guys, and if it's not available for purchase. Sorry about that. Did we just like hiccup out? I just got a reload page. So let me know if you guys are still with me. Lost my voice again. Okay. But can you hear me now? I know I sound like that old Sprint commercial, I guess. Can you hear me now? Please say yes, no, maybe so, because I might have to restart this entire thing. Oh, yes, yes. You can hear me? I disappeared for a moment, but I'm back. Yes. Can you guys see me? Can you see the spread? Yeah, okay, now we're back. Great. Sorry about that, guys. Again, the technology is a little bit wonky, and I don't know why. And I'm going to have to ask my resident astrologer, Teresa Reed, what's going on about this, because I don't think there was anything in the stars that was going to predict that or talk about that. So anyway, so I'm sorry that the spirit cloth is sold out, but if you want a reading with me, I can certainly pull out the spirit cloth and we can do a reading together. Now, before we go into the reading for the collective, let me just tell you, this is the spread that I do in my shop on my website called the 13 Moons like year ahead forecast. It's exactly the same. And instead of me talking to you about it, I prepare a 15-page PDF that's personalized for you. So this, if you were to purchase that, it's going away out of the shop at the end of the month. I'm like retiring it because people were just not interested, and I don't know why. But if people aren't interested, I'm not going to keep it around. I'm going to try and think of different specialty readings that people are more interested in. So as one thing is retired, I'm going to come out with something new. Hope that makes sense to everyone. But you're kind of getting a sneak preview here and the collective reading, so it is going to be applicable to you. But if you want a personalized reading, PDF forecast of the 13 moons for you specifically and your year, you can still purchase that in the shop. It's going away at the end of the month. So I would really encourage you to go ahead and do that. If this interests you and you're digging it, this might be a really great email option for you, email reading option for you, but it is a specialized PDF report for you. So that is my little advertisement. I can do this for you individually. So yay. Or if you're booking a reading with me and you wanted to play around with some of these spreads, you can let me know when you're booking and we'll do that. Up to you. I'm here to serve you. So now that you've seen the spread, the forecast, and let me know that I'm still with you guys and you can still hear me, because now I'm getting completely paranoid about this stuff cutting out. So say yes, say we can still hear you, and that would be very helpful before I move into the actual reading. Because I'm not seeing any activity in the chat, and it's making me really, really nervous that you guys can't hear me. Awesome. Dina says we can hear you. Great. So let us now move on to the cards that I pulled for us, right? So I used for this reading the Mystic Mondays tarot deck. I'm not sure where I put the deck box, but it's beautiful, as you can see from the cards. Here are the backs of it. And I believe I've used Mystic Mondays before with you guys. Jamie says, want me to send constant hearts? Yes, I do. Okay. So I am going to take away my beautiful face so that you can hear my voice and focus on the cards as we go through each of them. I was going to take a picture of each individual card as it comes up, but I'd rather not do that, or I can hold up each card as I'm talking about it. But I want to give you the overall reading first, so that you have the whole scope of the reading first, and then we will go into each individual card. So the way the 13 moons is set up is it is literally one card for each month of the year. And the way I read it is like, this is your advice card for the month of January. This is your advice card for the month of February. And so it's kind of advice, but it's also kind of like what to be on the lookout for. What is the general energy of that month? And I would really love to hear your feedback as we go through the rest of 2020, to see how everything shakes out. Like, was I right? Was I wrong? In which ways are these cards going to come up for you in that month? So like, I already know what I pulled for January, for example, and I find it to be very interesting already. So we are, yes, already into well into January, where we've just clocked over around the middle of the month. So we already know how January has kind of shaken out for the first half of January. So this is going to be for the next half of January. So just keep that in mind. Makes sense to everyone? Say yes, say shut up, Hilary, and give me your reading. April saying, thank you, Hilary. You're welcome. Thank you in advance, right? Okay. So I am going to take away my face again. And yeah, here we go. So unfortunately, I can't make it even bigger. I would like to, but I'm going to tell you what each card is. Like, here's the month, and here's which each card is. And then I'm going to come back on, and I'm going to hold up each card as we're talking about it for each month. Then I'm going to talk about the 13th card, which is our general theme of the year 2020. And spoiler alert, since you're looking at it, I don't know if you can recognize what that card is, but the 13th moon is the one that's directly in the center of the spread. And it looks like a figure that's on a cliff. And if you're familiar with tarot, you might already know that the Fool card is our theme card for the year 2020. And that actually, I did two separate shuffles. I did a shuffle, and then I pulled each individual card for each month. And then I stopped and I said, okay, now I'm shuffling for the year card. And when I shuffled for the year card, the Fool came flying out. So, and to me, I find that very appropriate for the year 2020, because it is that feeling of new beginnings. That Fool card is, it's the number 0, so it is neither beginning nor ending, and it just feels like a very appropriate card to almost begin a new phase. It's like almost like that Age of Aquarius song from the show Hair. You know, it has this feeling of like an up-leveling energy, which I've been saying for the past couple of months that I have been feeling that in regard to 2020 anyway. So I think it's very fitting that we are getting the full card for our theme card for the year. So, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's start talking about each individual card. And let me know if you're still with me or if you want more clarification as I go. So, for January, which is at the tippy top of the screen in the middle, that is the Queen of Cups. So the Queen of Cups is our card for the month of January. For the month of February, we have the Four of Pentacles reversed. And don't worry, I will come back to each individual card. For the month of, January, February, March. March, we have the Death card reversed. For the fourth month, April, we have the Five of Pentacles reversed. For May, we have the Justice card. For June, we have the Five of Cups. For July, at the bottom, we have the Star card. Let me go ahead and remove that so you can see the Star card at the bottom. That's for July. For August, we have the Moon reversed. For September, we have the Wheel of Fortune. For October, we have the Ten of Cups. For November, we have the Seven of Pentacles reversed. And for December 2020, we have the Two of Cups. Everyone's still with me. And then, of course, got ahead of myself. That 13th card in the middle is the Fool card. So let me pop back up over here. Hi again, everybody. So as you can see, I really love the concept of this particular spread because to me and how I read tarot as advice, as empowerment, and not necessarily what is going to happen. Because oftentimes when we talk about timing and we talk about fate and destiny and fortune telling, it has that feeling of almost guessing, which I really don't like because that's not truly tarot reading. That's always been my struggle with sometimes these types of readings where it's just but it's pure fortune telling because you're telling me what's going to be happening in January, February, March, April, May. And to me, I had to really refocus my my viewpoint and how I use the spread back away from that fortune telling aspect and back into this is the most likely thing that's going to happen, or this is advice for this month. And to me, I feel like that's a more empowering thing to do rather than what will or will not happen. So Dina's taken off, but looking forward to the replay. Thank you, Dina, for tuning in, and I'm definitely going to give you your reading, And by the way, if you guys are tuning in for the replay, I know I'm recording this live right now, but if you are tuning in for the replay, you can go ahead and comment replay. Hi, replay. Hi, I'm tuning in from Australia. I'm tuning in from New York. I would really appreciate that. So yeah. For these types of readings, I had to really reframe my mindset with regard to the fortune telling aspect that seems to be prevalent in these type of readings, but it doesn't have to be. Remember that tarot is a tool. It's your tool. You can use it in whatever way you want to. And the more you use it in ways that are meaningful to you and personal to you, the better you're going to get at it and the more deep the connection to your tarot cards will be. And I don't know if Jamie's still on here right now, but Jamie Elford is the author of Tarot Inspired Life. So I'm sure she agrees with me when I talk about, using the cards, playing with your cards, to forge that personal connection with your cards. Like how you use the cards is completely valid, and the way you're going to use the cards. You might use them in different ways than other people, or use them for brainstorming or journaling or decorating or crafting, but it's still valid what you're doing with those cards, and if you happen to ascribe to the whole fortune telling aspect of it, then good on you. It's not for me to say what you can and cannot do with your cards. This is just how I happen to read the 13 moon spread. So I hope that makes sense. And Jamie's agreeing with me. Yes, play with your cards and decks a lot. Each deck may reveal a different personality or use. Yes, exactly. So like, for example, this particular deck that I'm using tonight for this reading for the collective, the oh gosh. What is the name of this deck? I just had it in my head. Oh my goodness. Mondays. Mystic Mondays. Good grief. It's been a long day, folks. Yes, Mystic Mondays. Sorry about that. For example, this deck that I'm using for tonight's reading for 2020, it has this fun woo vibe, as you can see from the images, but it also is kind of like, it's got a little snarkiness to it, and it can be very blunt. But it usually just tells it like it is. And I like that. That's how I want my cards to talk to me. But there is another deck that I use called the Mystic Dreamer Tarot that I use primarily for love readings, because it's very it's like a watercolory deck, and for some reason it gives really good love readings. But the only way you're going to know what your deck is for, what it's good to be used for, is by playing with it and working with it and experimenting with it. Always keep that beginner mind in your head, It's actually one of the themes from today's card of the day that I had to pull late, but I still pulled it and I still put it out there. The Page of Discs reversed was all about, like, it's probably better to not be a know-it-all, and like fessing up to not knowing and not understanding everything, because there is room to grow there. So I don't think I necessarily said exactly those words in the interpretation, but like, that's what's coming to my head right now. So let us talk about January. So January, and let me go back through my cards. So January, my tarot babies, we have the Queen of Cups coming up. Sorry about the glare, because this deck is a little bit shiny. So January is the Queen of Cups, and I've been feeling this personally. Not so much, like, everyone's been really in their feelings lately. So that's the reason when I saw the Queen of Cups come up for January, I kind of laughed a bit. But the Queen of Cups can indicate mastery of your emotions, and not necessarily curtailing your what you feel. Like, obviously feel what you feel. Sometimes you can't control how you feel or your initial reaction to a situation, but you can then, when you evaluate it, then you can control it a little bit better, because your first reaction to something may not be the best reaction to that situation, or the one of your highest good, so to me, the Queen of Cups is about being in our cups, being in our feelings. And notice she has, she's holding up the cup and she's got a little mermaid tail here. It's like, I love this deck. It's a beautiful deck. Queen of Cups is also about intuition and about knowing what you know and using that as a tool to guide you through the rest of the month. Like, so people are going to be very emotional this month, but you don't necessarily have to ride with those emotions. Like, you can control your emotions, like feel how you feel, but also use your intuition to make sure that you're communicating with people in such a way that like their feelings aren't overriding or negating your feelings. Like, you are allowed to have feelings too. But yeah, Queen of Cups, it's very emotional this month, for the month of January. Got that, everybody? And I would love for you guys that are here live on the call, and even in the replay, you can just say replay. You tell me what you're seeing in this card before we move on to the next card. Because again, this is a reading for the collective. Like, your value and what you're seeing in the cards, it's completely valid as well. So what do you see in the Queen of Cups? And based on the January that you've already had, because we are on the 17th day of January, does this resonate with you? Does this make sense to you? Or have you not seen that energy of the Queen of Cups coming up yet? So let me know in the chat. And I'm scrolling through the chat right now just to make sure I didn't miss any comments. Because if no one speaks up, I'm going to move on. So Jamie says, I see intuitive flair where the hair and the background of the night flows together. Yeah, that's true. It does. So it feels important to honor the hits we get. Yes, absolutely. So the more you honor what your intuition is saying to you, or like listening to your intuition, the more it will continue to work for you. That's been my experience, because our intuition usually like talks to us in whispers so that it doesn't have to scream at us. And when it starts to scream at us, it's usually because we weren't paying attention to the whispers. So to me, this is like, pay attention to the whispers before they become screams. So thank you, Jamie, for contributing for the Queen of Cups. So we are going to move on now to the month of February, which you can't see right now because it's got my big ass logo on top of it. So I'm going to have to take that down, and we're going to go bare bones. All right, where's my overlay here? All right, so now you can see them a little bit more. So I really wish that I had like a little pointer so I could just circle each one as we go. Oh, Katie's also contributing. Let me circle back to January. Katie says that I see her being queen of her emotions. So though there is a lot of feelings going on about what you want for the year, etc., she is doing it with a regal attitude. Oh, I like that, Katie. I like that a lot. Yes, queen. Right? Okay. So let's move on to February. And I'm not going to, for some of these, I'm not going to go super, super in depth because, we do have a finite number of amount of time here for these live calls. And I don't want to go on too long with it. So yeah, February, we have the Four of Pentacles coming up reversed. So, and that's right next to the Queen of Cups in our spread. And to me, the Four of Pentacles reversed, especially in this deck. So the Four of Pentacles in the regular Rider-Waite-Smith deck is usually a man who's sitting like this. And he's got one pentacle. He's like embracing one pentacle. He has one pentacle on his head, and then he has a pentacle under each foot. And to me, when that card is upright, it usually signifies like miserliness, greediness, standoffishness sometimes as well, not wanting to share your resources, that kind of thing. But notice how this is a very modern deck, the Mystic Mondays Tarot. And so this is just like 4 orbs in a box. And then the reversal, it's still 4 orbs in a box. So to me, there's not a lot of difference in energy to me against the 4 of Pentacles reversed versus upright on the surface, like physically, because it looks kind of similar, right? But knowing what the 4 of Pentacles can mean reversed normally helps me kind of suss this out. So sometimes this is also a piece of advice for you that's just trying to learn how to read tarot. This deck might not be the right deck for you because there's not a lot going on in some of the cards. So it's hard for you to find a story or an interpretation that you might be able to hang on to for some of these cards. So that's why I wouldn't recommend this necessarily as a beginner's deck. But if you feel drawn to it and you're getting stuff out of it, then good on you. Go for it. But to me, if I was a beginner looking at this deck, I probably would need a different deck. So I'm kind of pinning my interpretation of this on what I know the 4 of Pentacles to be reversed. And to me, that's about not being greedy. So again, we're in February. So the advice for the 4 of Pentacles reversed is to share the wealth a little bit, not be so standoffish, not be so closed off, or not putting yourself in a box. Because now I'm pulling in the boxiness from this particular interpretation of the card or this depiction of the card. So February to me is like almost about breaking free, I guess, and not doing the expected, and also expecting the unexpected as well. So to me, February might be a changing it up kind of month, especially based on how January shakes out, where you feel like maybe your goals aren't being met as quickly as you would like, or maybe you've fallen off on your New Year's resolutions. Now, that's not to say that your New Year's resolutions are bad or good, but maybe you just have to adjust them, or maybe they're no longer resonating with you in the same way that you thought in December when you first set those goals, or January 1st where you first set those goals. Maybe that month of January has told you that you want to maybe honor your intuition a little bit more, since we have the Queen of Cups coming up for the month of January. Or it might be just telling you that you need to course correct for some of these resolutions, or they are no longer applicable. So what are you guys seeing when you look at the 4 of Pentacles reversed? And then we'll move on to the next card. And I'm going to take a sip of my Dr. Pepper. I wish I had like a little selfie stick to put this on so that I could just like leave it up here without having to tire out my arm. Oh, my phone's ringing. Sorry, guys, I'm probably going to have to get that. So Jamie is saying, February, I see the loosening up of expectations and energies. Let things flow. Yeah, I like that interpretation. Sorry, guys, I'm going to have to go get this. Keep looking at the cards. I'll be right back. Nope, they hung up. How rude. Katie is saying about February, sharing your stuff, all of your stuff, not just money, but self. I like that. All right, let's move on to the month of March, where we have one of the big bad cards of the tarot. It doesn't necessarily have to be a big bad, but we have the Death card coming up reversed. This is kind of like a punk rock version of the Death card, with a little Scully. That's what the Death card looks like upright. So this is again the month of March. So in March, I feel like it's almost a heavier version of that Four of Pentacles reversed that came up for the month of February, where it's just like let go or be dragged. Do you know what I mean? Like if you don't heed the message that's coming up for the month of February, circumstances might have you loosening your grip on things that are not under your control. So to me, the Death card reversed for the month of March is about relinquishing control. Allow things to end, because sometimes some situations can't go on indefinitely. Things have to end in order to have a new beginning. And the more you drag on a situation or allow a situation to drag on, the more stuff you're blocking. You're not going to be able to start something new if your energy is still locked into this situation that's dragging on. So I'm going to ask you guys to start chiming in for your interpretation as I'm talking. That way we can move it along a little bit better. But what are you seeing with the Death card reversed? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? I mean, tarot is so awesome because we can all see it's the same card that's coming up for all of us, but we all can see different things in it. Different interpretations, because we're coming at it from as individuals. Our individual experiences are informing our interpretations of the cards. So what do you see for the month of March with the Death card reversed? So Jamie says, March, I see the steam rising out of the skull. I feel like there's something running out of energy. It's interesting that you say that too, because I often get fed up with the winter in March. So that might be a little symbol for me that it's just like, hey, hang in there, kitten. It's almost over. Spring will sprung. Katie says, March, it's striking me that if you don't get your act together in February, it's fate to happen. So March will smack your butt if you don't get doing it. I like that interpretation. I'm seeing that too. And I love that these are the cards that are coming up because it is this cycle. It's just like when one thing does or does not happen, it affects the other cards. And oftentimes when I was talking about timing before, that happens a lot in the tarot where it's not necessarily this will happen on this date at this time. It's more about sequence. If X, Y, and Z happens, then A will come. A is the result. So it's very dependent on one another. Katie says, from what Jamie said, it makes me see that it is letting go of the bad or black stuff. Yeah, that looks very toxic, that black energy that's coming out of the skull because it's reversed. Like, remember, here's that upright, and then that energy is running down. But with the reversal, that energy is going up. Maybe it's going up towards the heavens and being released out of the head. Or maybe it's being put up into the air and out into the environment, and it's hanging out up there and it's not clearing itself. Yep. Jamie says, good call. Yeah, something releasing, going out. Good job, guys. Like, look at you reading tarot. Of course you can. All right. So that is the month of March. The month of April, my birth month. 5 of Pentacles reversed. So I'm going to start going on with my interpretation, but you guys can chime in at any point in the chat, and then I will circle over to your interpretations. But to me, the 5 of Pentacles reversed is a really great card to get. Remember that I'm not just looking at the signs and symbols on this particular depiction of the card. I'm also thinking about going into my memory bank of knowledge about what the different tarot cards mean out of different decks. And the 5 of Pentacles, when reversed, to me is a better card than having the 5 of Pentacles be upright. And the reason why is that the 5 of Pentacles is usually a sign that we're in financial straits, that we're not using our money or our resources wisely, that we need to ask for help, but we might be too prideful to ask for help. But to me, the reversal means that you are kind of doing everything right. You're doing right by yourself. Maybe you are being a bit more frugal, not spending as much on things that don't matter, the things that are not important. Let me look at this card. And I noticed that the figure, so when the figure is upright here, like the figure is looking backwards. And traditionally, when the figure is looking backwards, it means they're looking toward the past. But with the reversal of the 5 of Pentacles, now that person is looking toward the future line. So you can see the difference it makes whether or not a card is upright or reversed. Look at where the figures are looking and see what that might mean, what that might indicate. So Jamie's saying about April, feeling left out, but finding your own path to get back to faith. I love that. I love that interpretation, Jamie. Because oftentimes in the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith, this card has 2 figures cold out in the snow. And there's a stained glass window behind them, or, like in front of them if they're like looking towards it, with the glow of the stained glass window or an entryway. And they're so close to going in and getting sanctuary, but they're still out in the cold, the snow. So sometimes it does have that feeling of being left out, being neglected. But sometimes it is about forging that path or making your own. So Katie is saying, April, saving money is what I see because it is beneath the person. Yeah, there you go. See, figure is here and the pentacles are here. It's beneath the person. Yes, Jamie, I also see someone almost meditating. Yeah, it's a very meditative pose. I like it. And it almost looks as if it's like a little bit of a power pose in a way as well. Very regal, I would say. Going back to the Queen of Cups at the top of the reading in the January position. I don't know. It feels as if she's almost the queen that's fallen on tough times, but is going to get through it. So that is April. May. And again, chime in with what you're seeing. This one's a little bit easier because it is a major arcana card. It is the Justice card for the month of May. So you've got the scales there. So I feel like May is a month of getting back into balance. Maybe fighting the battles that need to be fought. I do normally see that when I see Justice, is like questioning, almost like, sorry about the reflection again, questioning about the battles that you've been fighting, and maybe whether or not you should be fighting those battles. Are you fighting those battles for yourself, or for someone else? Are you fighting battles for other people because you're avoiding the battles that you need to fight for yourself? Those are the kinds of things that I'm seeing. So to me, that's almost scary to me, because I'm just like, I'm wondering what kind of battles I'm going to be fighting in May, because I have no idea right now, because the energy could change so much in a matter of months. So, and I like that the Justice card in this deck has like black nails. And it's almost like this, like, how am I going to do this? Like this. Like, it's very ginger the way the scales are being held. So that to me might signify that the balance can be very tenuous. It can be very difficult to strike that balance without shifting things. So Jamie is saying, May, time to balance the scales of karma. You've spent a lot of time this year working on various focus points. Bring that balance back. Yep, balance is a really strong keyword when we've got the scales of justice going on. Katie is saying, justice, balance. Things have been released and now they are settling into their new pattern. That's a great interpretation. I love that. So that is for the month of May. Now, wait, May, June, July, yeah. So now we are in the month of June. And we have another 5. So I find it interesting that we've got the Justice card then bookended by 5s, the 5s of the tarot. We've got the 5 of Pentacles reversed. And then we have the 5 of Cups coming up for June. So this is another very simplified version of the 5 of Cups. So again, it might not be the best deck for you if you are a beginner, but if it vibes with you, then go for it. So the 5 of Cups to me is normally a card of like playing the what if game, because it's usually signified by a figure, a hooded figure, looking back at overturned cups, spilled over cups. And then there are 2 full cups, usually looking towards the future line, but the figure is not seeing that because they're looking towards the past and what could have been. So that's the Rider-Waite-Smith version of the 5 of Cups. So again, I'm going back into my tarot arsenal because sometimes it's hard to interpret what the 5 of Cups may mean when you have a simplified version of it. So, so June might have us, it's not necessarily the entire month of June that's going to be like depressing for us, but it might feel as if, you know, I'm into the 6th month of the year. It's been 6 months. It's the halfway point, right? Yeah, June, right? June is the 6th month. So, you know, at that point, we may be feeling a little bit slighted, a little bit jilted, a little bit like things haven't gone our way, or it's already 6 months out of the year gone, and what do I have to show for it? That kind of thing when we're talking about the 5 of Cups. So we might be feeling a little bit of a downer when we see this card coming up for the month of June. But to me, the 5 sometimes can be a very in our heads card. It's not necessarily what's going on. It's just we've maybe made a mountain out of a molehill. So I would say advice for June is to take a step back and really evaluate what's going on, and not play the what if game or the comparison game, because it's a game that you're never going to win. So Jamie is saying, June, if you turn the card on its side, so I'm going to go ahead and, which way? Because I'm going to do my own interpretation now, because I'm seeing something different from Jamie's suggesting to turn it on its side. If you turn it on its side this way, you only have 2 cups that are upright. But if you turn it on the side this way, you have 3 cups that are upright, which is the majority. So it's just like, look on the sunny side of life. Do 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 do. Anyway, Jamie's saying that way. Okay, so Jamie's saying, June, if you turn the card on its side, I see a sunrise set coming through to remind you that a new day is coming. New perspectives are on the horizon. I love that. Yeah, that's a sunrise. Look at the horizon there. Thank you. Dina's saying inner chaos. Yeah, could be that too. And Jamie said that way. Yeah. So like if you turn it on its side this way, it's kind of a downer, but if you turn it on its side this way, it's the sunrise and the 3 full cups. So very interesting. So Katie is saying 5 of cups, sunny side as well as dark side in the background. So by June, we have cleared stuff in the first half of the year. And now that we are in balance, we can start to get the new life for the year. Yeah, I mean, sometimes it takes a while. And remember, we're talking about the secular calendar, the Gregorian calendar, right? So your year doesn't necessarily have to start in January. In fact, if you happen to be pagan and you associate the witch's new year with Samhain, with Halloween, like we've already been in 2020, if you think of it that way, because Samhain is October 31st. So that's the witch's new year. Think of that. Think of it. So Dina is saying that this card is the shit gets real card. Shit just got real card. It's like, yep, we're in June. We're playing for keeps now. So for July, the base of our circle, the base of our 13 moons, we have the star card coming up. So to me, and again, start chiming in. Excuse me. Start chiming in right now with what you're seeing with the star card. So I love this card. I think it's a very beautiful card. But it feels as if we really are starting to integrate our year at the time July rolls around. And the star to me is about emotional healing. It's about wishes coming true. It's about goals being fulfilled. So you know what? By the time the star card comes up in July, I think some of the goals that you've set at the beginning of the year are starting to come to fruition earlier than you expected. You might have thought that the goal that you set was much bigger than it actually was. And maybe it is a big goal, but you're realizing that it was more doable than you first realized. And now it's starting to pay off dividends. So great card to get for July because it's giving us this indication that this first half of the year and all of the work that we've done in the first half of the year is paying off by July. Not to say that you don't have other goals that you want to fulfill, but this is a really great indication that it's like there's integration going on, there's healing going on, there's satisfaction as well, satisfaction with a job well done. I'm seeing all good things when it comes to the star card coming up for July. So, Jamie says, July, the start of the second half of the year now brings out the opportunities for dreams and talents. Track your goals and manifest them now. And that's a great idea. And not only that, but you want to be able to write some of these things down. Like, don't leave it in your head, because sometimes when you leave it in your head, it starts to morph and change. And then you've made this goal be bigger in your head because you never took the opportunity to write it down. And when you write it down, you get it out of your head, but then it's also there. It's more concrete that way. And then you can evaluate it better instead of having this, like, the goalpost be pushed further and further out by keeping it in your own mind. Dina says, pretty card in its simplicity. Yes, I agree. I love this card. It's beautiful. Katie says, July, you have cleared the stuff, got your money and head in the right place, and now boom, in comes all the good stuff. We can certainly hope. Yes, I'm seeing that too. So that is the month of July. The month of August, we have the moon card coming up reversed. So again, start to tell me what you're seeing in the card. God, that's a beautiful card too. Love it. So to me, the moon traditionally, when upright, it's about the moon is reflecting on the lake or the water below, and it's not revealing all of its secrets or what's deeper going on under the surface. But with the moon card coming up reversed, it's I usually have the keyword associated with it as like secrets are revealed, like there's more than meets the eye. So again, we're talking about August. So things start to not only with the star card coming up in the month before, so the goals are realized and everything, but then other goals that you didn't really know that you had start to surface now, because in achieving one goal, you realize that you might want to start on another goal, or I got what I wanted, but it's not what I wanted, or not what I thought I wanted. So it's just, I was reading something today, and I can't remember where I was reading it in. I think it was from Noom, actually, because I've been doing the Noom program, Noom.com, which is like not a weight loss program, but kind of is a weight loss program. It's all about mindset and mind psychology of losing weight and exercising. But they said something to the effect of like, humans are always wanting, like there is no time where we're not striving to do something else, like we get to our goals and then we want more. And then we get to another goal, and then we're already setting the next goal. So that's, to me, is what's going on with the star card coming up for July, and then the moon coming up reversed for August. It's almost as if these goals that have come to fruition are now revealing new goals and deeper goals. So Dina's saying there may be an eclipse that month too. Yes, in the month of August, I believe there is quite a big eclipse happening. So August, the moon seems to be the reflection on the water when it's reversed on the card. Yeah, that's true. I would say that maybe it's time to get back to the surface because you went a bit deep and need to reassess. That's an interesting interpretation. I like it. Katie is saying, I'm noticing the diamonds and that they look like icebergs. There is stuff below the surface, but in reverse, I'm guessing that there is a revelation. But it's like the revelations are in the stars. So maybe stuff we had left in the stars, things we hadn't dreamed possible, might appear. I like that. I like that a lot. This is like the best reading for the collective ever because we're all doing it. I love it. Thank you guys so much for participating in this. So that is the month of August. Big stuff going down in the month of August, astrologically as well. Dina, thank you for reminding me and pointing that out. Again, I'm not an astrologer. I know just enough astrology to be dangerous. You know that tarot is my main squeeze. So the month of September, we have the Wheel of Fortune. So this, again, is another simplistic version of the Wheel of Fortune. And again, I'm sorry that I'm coughing like a mofo. So the Wheel of Fortune is all about karma, destiny, fate. The wheel turns. When it's upright, it's usually that the wheel, like we're on an upswing, and when it's reversed, it's usually on a downswing. But what goes up must come down. What goes down must go up. So, there is that cyclical nature to the Wheel of Fortune. But it also, with it being upright, it feels like a very like back to school energy, like all is right with the world. I feel like there is this fire associated with this Wheel of Fortune because it's like a very bright Wheel of Fortune. It's like got oranges and reds and purples. And I feel like energetically, it's just like a mover and a shaker kind of month for the month of September. Like you've taken all of your lessons, all of your knowledge. And not only that, the star card and the moon card reversed, it's like that energetic oomph just feeds right into the Wheel of Fortune. And it feels as if like you could go anywhere and do anything for the month of September. So Dina says, so energetically vibrating like the wheel in the quantum field. Yeah, exactly. Katie says the wheel looks like one of the spinning discs. Mm-hmm. And Jamie says, I saw Resident Evil's Umbrella Corporation in this card's image. LOL. Yeah, a little bit. Maybe they have a new Resident Evil game coming out in September. This could be our indication. I don't know. So Jamie says, September, with the year coming to a close, it's time to acknowledge and honor the season and your own cycles and periods. Yeah. Especially if you are a pagan. Remember what I was saying before. Our witch's new year is October 31st. So this would be for September. So yeah. I like this one though. It feels like a very carnivalesque atmosphere with the Wheel of Fortune. And sometimes in different decks, like my friend Courtney Weber's Tarot of the Burrows, they use the Wonder Wheel from Coney Island as their Wheel of Fortune. So I shouldn't say Ferris wheel though when Jamie's around, because Jamie and I went on a Ferris wheel at the top of the St. Louis City Museum. That was a lot scarier than I thought it was going to be. Or maybe a sign that you're going to be on a Ferris wheel in September. Okay, so October. Oh, hold on. Katie's got another interpretation as well. So September, because of the spinning movement, it's like it isn't one direction, could be multiple directions for different things. Yeah, exactly. And I usually do see this, the Wheel of Fortune card, when somebody's trying to make a decision and there's more than one option available. Like to me, when they have a choice between two different options, it's usually the Lover's card that comes up. But when there's like a multiple choice, like a whole bevy of opportunities, that's when I see the Wheel of Fortune. So I agree with that. Jamie says, OMG, that Ferris wheel ride was both amazing and scary at the same time. Yeah, it was terrifying. I was fine. Until I actually sat down in the seat and then the wind started to pick up and then I was just like, ah. It was fun though. Okay. So October, right? We have the 10 of Cups, and I really, really love this card. This card usually indicates like happily ever after, happy home life, happy family and friends and celebration. The tens of the tarot deck usually indicate endings or completion in some way, shape, or form. And in the different suits, so you've got cups, wands, swords, and pentacles. 2 of the 10 cards I see as relatively positive, and then 2 of the 10 cards I see as kind of negative. So this is one of the positive 10s. The other positive 10 to me is the 10 of Pentacles. The negative ones are 10 of Swords and 10 of Wands, because 10 of Wands usually indicates a lot of work, too many burdens to bear, and 10 of Swords is usually like, cut it out, it's over. So 10 of Cups to me is a very positive card. And it's interesting too how it's depicted because it feels as almost like the web of life and how we are interconnected with each other. If we happen to be like representative of individuals are the cups in here, notice the connections between everyone and everything. Like that web where you pull one side of the web and the other side is affected. So Katie says, whoop, oh, hold on. Katie says, October. So all the stuff we have been working towards comes to a fruition, emotionally fulfilling. Yeah, definitely emotions because we are talking about the Suit of Cups. Jamie says, October, the expansion circle from the wheel. Okay, yep, has fully formed into a three-dimensional shape here. So I see another month of bringing in achievements which have made you happy. Yeah, this is a very happy card. So that's October. We're getting there, folks. We're getting there. Okay. November. Oh, Katie is saying about the 10 of Cups, universal connections. I like that. So November, we have the 7 of Pentacles reversed. So to me, the 7 of Pentacles, when upright, it's usually like, here are the seeds that you've planted and now you're watching them grow. With the reversal, to me, it's like something's not quite right. There's a blockage, there's a miscommunication, or it's not necessarily as abundant as you thought it was going to be. Like the timing might not be quite right, or you have to like kind of stick it out a little bit longer. And in this case, she is watering a palm tree. I hate this cough. So what do you guys see? Oh, I also just had another thought about this. So remember that November is traditionally Thanksgiving times for get-togethers, gatherings, or whatever. But when those gatherings happen, it's almost as if like it's a family reunion and you feel the need to prove yourself or you feel the need to show your accomplishments. So with the reversal of this card, I feel as if like that might not be the right energy to go about, or you might not need to. You might either go to the extreme where it's like you really feel the need to prove yourself, or you really don't feel the need anymore. Ooh, that's a budget for the holidays. Yep. Because remember, that's November where, Christmas shopping, Hanukkah shopping, it comes up earlier and earlier each year, right? And we are talking about Pentacles. So budgeting for the holidays, that is a great interpretation. Jamie says, November, now is not the time to harvest the items you were hoping. Let the seeds mature and watch how much you are watering and paying attention to them. Nice. And Dina's saying, check your resources. Yep. Katie, do you have anything to add? Have you noticed that this is like a reading for the collective from the collective? Funny how that works out, right? So Katie says, November, I see the money connected to the moon, dreams, desires. So it hasn't quite happened yet. Money hasn't come quite in yet from all the stuff that you were doing. Good interpretation. So November, be a little bit more careful, be a little bit more frugal with your money. Don't count your chickens before they've hatched, right? All right. Last month of the year, we have the 2 of Cups. So to me, this is a wonderful card to get. If you've read some of my blog posts before, when people come to me asking about love and relationships, I usually tell them I don't want to see the Lover's card because that's like, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. I want to see the 2 of Cups because the 2 of Cups shows like soulmates, even though my definition of soulmate differs from what other people think of for soulmates, I see that more as kindred spirits rather than like one person for the rest of your life. But Two of Cups is like a real bond there. And someone that I like the interpretation, the depiction of like the white and the red, because it's just like you are two different people, but you're combined and you're almost as one. So it's like retaining the sense of the individual while being with someone. So to me, December is all about forging those connections and understanding what that month is really about. It's not about the presents. It's not about the money. It's about the connections and making those connections and forging those connections and growing those connections. And I've kind of been doing this for the last couple of years, not necessarily buying presents for people, but buying experiences for them, like wanting to take them out to dinner, bonding over a shared meal, or an experience, and spending time with that person rather than giving them like a physical gift. So, Dina says, I like that. And we might be doing that earlier than December, though. Stay tuned. Dina says, leave all family behind and travel to an island with your sweetie. Oh, if only. If only we could sometimes, right? Jamie says, December, I love this as a wrap-up card for the year. Yeah, me too. Lots of joyous celebration. Enjoy this winter and be with those whose energy you jive with most. Avoid crappy holiday engagements. Yes, I like that. And the reason why I like that is sometimes you do have to attend holiday parties or social functions or whatever, and it's all very surface. And I don't like that. I'm like not that kind of person. I while I can deal with being social, I like a deeper connection with someone and a more intimate gathering, a smaller group of people, because a bigger group of people would just like overwhelm me and it's all very surface. So this is not a surface card. This is getting deep. This is deep emotional connections. So Katie says, I see celebrations with friends, people that are close to you. I also see a spiritual beings there, also like universal spirits that are connected. Yeah. I find it interesting because the Two of Cups here, it almost looks like mountains in the background, but it could also be like angel wings for the two of them. And normally, in the Two of Cups, is it the Two of Cups? I think sometimes there is an angel behind the Two of Cups. So interesting. Dina adds, it's okay to say no to some commitments. Yeah, exactly. If it's not a hell yeah, it's a hell no. That's what I'm seeing. Okay. This was a long episode. We are going on it's 8:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time during the live. I did already circle over to the Fool, but let's move on to the Fool. And I will wrap up again what I was saying. So the Fool. So Katie is saying, yeah, I saw angel wings as well for that, for the Two of Cups. So this is our theme card. This middle card right here, this is the 13th moon. This is our theme for the year 2020. So now that we've read all of the cards for each individual month, what are you seeing for the Fool card? Do you think that it's a great wrap-up card, a theme card? How do you see this theme card playing out? Is it like you need to embody the Fool in order to really integrate all of these experiences? Is 2020 a year of taking a risk to see the reward? Or is it going into situations with a sense of childlike wonder and curiosity and beginner's mind? I often do see the Fool as like a reminder for us to think with beginner's minds and be okay with not knowing and being curious and wondering how a situation is going to play out instead of, I guess, future tripping, like staying present in the moment instead of future tripping all of the million and one ways that a situation could go wrong. I mean, there is this sense of forewarned is forearmed, but sometimes it can be a detriment to our evolution, to the situations, if we already think that a situation is a foregone conclusion. So, what are you guys seeing? So, Jamie says, overall theme, take risks to gain big rewards this year. There will be some challenges and lessons, but stick with it, and the payoff is big. Yeah, to me, I've said it before, but I've always had this sense of like 2020 as a year of up leveling, like playing on a bigger stage, playing on the world stage, going international. Um, much in the same way that I had the sense of like 2020, like the energy of 2020 was like this unknown, this question mark. But 2012 was like the ending of the Mayan calendar or whatever. So people were thinking, oh my God, it's going to be the end of the world. And it was to a degree because things couldn't go on the way they were going on. So there was like an energetic vibration shift. And I feel the same way about 2020. So Dina says, some months you will need to begin again if it all didn't go as planned, and that's okay. Right? Exactly. Katie says, theme, I see that over the year we are cleaning up stuff first and then opening up to our dreams, the dreams that haven't been realized, and reaching for that sun, go into it with joy, and we will have a good energy available for us to succeed. Fate is with us this year. Yes, I love it. Okay. Well, that is your tarot reading for the collective. Dina says, wave goodbye to some corrupt leaders. LOL. Oh, if only, right? Like I'm crossing my fingers and my toesies over that. So this has been your reading for the collective for the year 2020. Thank you all so much for participating. Not only did you have me reading your cards for you, but you had Dina, you had Katie, you had Jamie. If I've missed someone, I hope I haven't missed anyone. We all did a reading for you guys. So, and Devon's been here too. So you can go back to the replay at any time you want to just dip in and take a look. Like if you're in the month, or even if you're not in that month yet, like if you're in February and it's just like, okay, I need to, what was it that everyone said about the month of March? What do I need to be aware of? Because then you can start to prep a little bit, right? So everyone's saying, thanks, Hilary. This was fun. Definitely want to come back to. This was awesome fun. And it's so much more fun when we did it together. I love that. So let me pull this down. Hold on one second. So obviously, or not so obviously, I'm not going to be doing a weekend forecast because this was just a lot of stuff to do, right? Hold on one second. This was your tarot reading for the collective. Let me put back up my background because I like it. It's pretty. So I would really encourage you guys to not only use this episode, but also go back to my goal setting with the tarot episode. I will try when I'm prepping this video for YouTube to include that so that there's a direct link there for you to just go there. And I would really encourage you to go back to that episode and calculate what your year card is for the year 2020 and take that information and then integrate it into this reading for the collective information so that you have more information to go on. Like, for example, my tarot card that I calculated based on my birth date, and then the year 2020, my tarot card is the Chariot for this year. So that's another additional layer for me to put on this reading that we've all done together, to give me more information about this year. And so to me, having the Chariot card as my year card, indicates to me that it's going to be a fast-paced year for me. It might be a leveling up kind of year for me, that I'm going to have to really pick and choose what I want to do because I'm going to be in demand with my time, energy, attention. So go back to that episode and figure out your year card for 2020, then come back to this episode, and that way you have more information to go on from the tarot on how to approach this year, and how to get the most out of this year. Like, we're still in the beginnings of this year. Yes, January is almost over, but there's time. There's time to be able to do everything that we want to do. And I think sometimes we get ourselves crazy and so overwhelmed because we overestimate the amount of things that we can get done in like a week, and we underestimate the amount of stuff that we can get done in a year. So that's just my opinion. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap everything up. Thank you so much for watching. Again, I am Hilary of tarotbyhilary.com. If you liked this 13 Moons reading for the collective and you want one of your own, I still have that available for a personalized 15-page PDF forecast for you, available on my website. It is going to be taken down at the end of January so that I can move on to different offerings for you guys. But if you like this, if you thought it was cool and you want a really like personalized one for you, let me know. Contact me through my website, and I can do one for you, for a cost, of course. But that is available to you until the end of January. If you want to work with me one-on-one to learn tarot, my Tarot Intuitive course is opening at the end of this month for 1 week only. And that is the actual online course is a 6-week long course, taking you through each individual card one by one, how to create spreads, how to read a Celtic cross, how to read a 3-card spread, how to differentiate the voice of intuition from the voice of fear, all of these different topics. I already took the class, took my 3 students through this class last year, and I'm going to take on 10 more. We keep it really, really small so I can give you really personalized attention so that no tarot student is left behind. So if you're interested in that, get on the wait list. You can find that on my website as well. So enough, Hilary, because this is a really long episode and I need to rest my voice now really, really badly. Hold on one second. So again, my website is right here, tarotbyhilary.com. And I just want to remind you guys, I will be back here again on my Facebook page live Friday night at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, doing another tarot topic. If you have preferences or want me to cover a certain tarot topic, please go ahead and email me. I would love to hear your suggestions so that I can keep on bringing you great content, because I love to do this. I live to do this, and I love to do this. So have a wonderful night. Have a wonderful weekend. I hope you are off on Monday. I am accepting appointments on Monday, since I don't have to go into my day job on Monday. And I will see you again next Friday. Have a wonderful weekend. If you are in my neck of the woods, watch out for snow. I hope you stay warm and cozy, and don't go driving in crazy weather, all right? Have a wonderful night. I will see you guys next week.